maybe. Welcome to Blacklist Universe. Today, I am Mike Miller, the comic pimp, because my friend Dennis Caco is here with his project on Kickstarter, Max Boost. Dennis, tell us about yourself and tell us about your book, yo.
What up? What up? Hi.
How you been?
Good, man. I'm just glad I made it.
Dennis is a newbie to the YouTube thing. What is that clicking sound?
I don't know. Do you hear it? Oh, is it air conditioning? Can you hear that? I mean, that's pretty hard to do.
I don't know. I just kept hearing that right there.
No, that's
click,
not a
click. Click. Are you using a mouse?
No, I do nothing. That's not us.
Huh. All right. I will try to avoid. That's it right there. Where's your mic?
I'm just using
the phone.
Yeah, nothing.
Random.
It's on a tripod, so.
I don't get it. Anyways, screw it. Who cares? What's up, Dennis? How you been, man?
Man, it's been crazy, dude. It's been busy. You know me a little bit, so you know more than Max.
Yeah.
In my life, so. Yeah, we're busy doing business, entrepreneurial things.
Yeah, Dennis and I have been trying to get on a stream together for about a year. That's
just a little bit.
Busy.
Maybe a year. Yeah, maybe a little less than a year, about 360 days, something like that.
Because Dennis,
you've done awesome though, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Oh,
you are definitely Mike S. Miller, comic pimp. You are definitely the comic pimp.
All right, this is why he's saying that, because Dennis, I've talked about Dennis numerous times on my show as my friend who has known how to master crowdfunding for years now, and he's the one who gave me all the pointers on marketing, on influencer marketing, on all of this different stuff. And I've been trying to get him on so we could do like a primer for everybody else out there who wants to do crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And now he's crowdfunding Kickstarter, his own comic book, Max Boost. But tell us about your other successes so people know what a big shot you are.
First off, I don't think I'm the big shot anymore. I think you're the big shot now. So, man, you've killed it on crowdfunding, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to tell them how much you do on your Kickstarters, and they're going to be like, Mike is nobody.
Okay, but I mean, those are the things. But man, you've done amazing, and I really want to talk about you and what you've done with a little bit. But yeah, guys, I am I started off in the comic book industry. That's when I met Mike. I swear that was more than 20 something years ago, dude.
Yeah, it was like 97. It's like 22 years ago.
Yeah. And so, and we were all, he wasn't starving. He was doing well. I was a starving artist living underneath my table, basically in the studio in downtown. And Mike was one of the first people that I met that actually made a living doing comics, which was really important to me to see someone that was doing that. Because I was actually, I'm Asian, and my Asian parents don't think that comic books is a good place to go.
This is news to me.
And so Mike, like I credit Mike as one of the people that, I always tell people, when you want to achieve and be something, you want to meet someone who does it, and that's it, and then your brain will connect that it's actually possible for you. So Mike was one of the first people I actually met. I remember meeting him at his house with Neil Lang. And so anyways, yeah, so fast forward, went from comic book artist and had basically forced myself to become an entrepreneur. Because back then, if you ever wanted anything published, if you wanted your product out in the market, you had to go through so many gatekeepers. And a lot of these gatekeepers never understood our visions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to go do it, eventually have to figure out how to do it ourselves. And so that's when I figured out I had to become an entrepreneur to make my vision happen. And so one of the products that I ended up doing was actually Max Boost back in 1998. And I ended up doing that. But to fast forward a little bit, so I turned into an entrepreneur. Did really well, sold lots of T-shirts and merch, and created Max Boost. I even did a yeah. What's up, Zeno? He looks at me and he says, "I'm 22 years ago. Was Dennis 5?"
We're Asian, man. We're Asian.
We're Asian. But yeah, no, we started young. But yeah, no. So fast forward. Ended up actually becoming an SBA Young Entrepreneur of the Year. And don't worry, my mom still didn't want me to do this, no matter how much money or how successful we became. And I ended up finding crowdfunding. And crowdfunding, we got into almost 5 years to the date. September 22nd, 2014, we launched a product that I came up with, which was called The Undress. I'm a runner, cyclist, triathlete. And if you ever ask any woman or man, if they've ever changed in the backseat of a car or behind a bush or whatever before or after workouts, it's actually prevalent. Millions of people do it almost, I would argue, daily. And so, yeah, Jay, Asians don't age, I guess. I'm actually 95.
Until we hit like 70, then it's all downhill.
No, that's when we learned Kung Fu, right? And then we became
I already know
masters.
Kung Fu, so too late.
Okay, then I don't know, something else. But MMA. That's when you get in the ring. Yeah. No, so I ended up creating this product called the Undress, and I swear I didn't know it would be that successful, but we tried. It was our first Kickstarter project. It's a mobile changing room that's a dress, and you guys kind of see that. You guys check it out later at theundress.com, and so basically it's a mobile changing room, and we wanted to do $22,000 in sales on Kickstarter in 39 days. That was our goal. Anyways, long story short, we ended up doing $615,000 in 39 days. And blew up and became Kickstarter's #1 women's fashion product of all time at the time. And we ended up hitting 1 million in like months. And we just kept going. And so it went from a Kickstarter project to a business based out here in Mission Valley, San Diego. And so that's one of the first successes. Then after, and we've sold millions of dollars in dresses since then. And we've been very fortunate. And we've used Kickstarter over and over again to continue to produce the new versions, just kind of like Mike's doing with his comics and everything else he's going to be doing. So amazing platform. Ended up then moving on to working with Danny Massaro in a company called Monitio. And we launched Headphones, a headphone company, and we ended up doing about $400,000 in like 35 days. And then I also helped do the Hydrate Smart Water Bottle with Nadia and her team. And we ended up launching that, and that did $627,000 in like 40-something days. And so, and it kept going. And there's so many other projects that we've done. And realize that crowdfunding is definitely the way of the future for everybody who wants to be a comic book. I think if you're going to launch a comic book or any merch or any kind of product, you really, really got to take a look at Kickstarter. And I think that's what we're going to talk about today, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Or Kickstarter or Indiegogo, crowdfunding in general.
And you do both, right? You roll yours into Indiegogo after the fact?
Yeah. Oh, so we were one of the first companies to start going, like, usually you used to have to pick Kickstarter or Indiegogo. And so that's kind of how you do it. And then you pick one. Then I was like, well, why don't you launch it in Kickstarter first? And then when you're done, put it on Indiegogo. Why not? Indiegogo's rules are different than Kickstarter's. Kickstarter doesn't like having any projects on there that have been on other platforms. Indiegogo actually embraced it and now takes on a majority of the projects that start on Kickstarter can go on to Indiegogo and then continue their campaign beyond the Kickstarter campaign. So you
can't put something on Kickstarter that has been on Indiegogo.
No, they don't like going the other direction. So just know that, and that's one of the things that I've always said. And just kind of sort of fast forward a little bit, when people come to me and they ask me, okay, Dennis, so you've launched all these projects and we've done Indiegogo, we made a lot of money there, we made a lot of money on Kickstarter. Which one would you do? And I think I've told Mike this, and 100% it would be Kickstarter first, 100%, right? Mike happens to be one of the very few variables who became really successful right off the bat on Indiegogo. I mean, I don't know if you're pretty rare, dude. I don't know.
Well, there's a handful of us comic guys that are doing it. So
yeah, so comics are doing really well on Indiegogo in a way that I'm not sure. So I'm looking forward to jumping from Max Boost from Kickstarter into Indiegogo and seeing if there's anything we learned there. I'm going to probably have to hit you up, Mike, for some advice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so but that's typically what it is when you're wanting to launch merchandise and other types of products. But Indiegogo is finding its niche in comics. I'm seeing that, and Mike's proving that as well. And you guys, and that's awesome that you guys are being able to support new ideas like this, like you guys are doing now.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kickstarter. I went back and I looked through. They've got over 100 projects just in comics that have done over 100,000, right? But I mean, how long have they been around?
Quite a while, yeah.
Right. So
years or something like that. I just guessed right now, but it's been a while. It's longer than most people think.
Yeah, but Indiegogo is relatively new, and so gosh, that is a weird clicking noise. Can you hear it? You can't hear it, huh?
I hear you. I hear it. I think it's on your side when you talk. There, clicking.
It's not me. I've been on all day. It's not me.
I don't know. It's doing it right now when you're holding it. It's clicking.
Yeah, whatever. Wow, I've just totally derailed my brain. Yeah, so
project.
Indiegogo. I don't know. I wanted to move the Meg over to Kickstarter, but if they won't allow things that have already been done, then like my son just launched his board game on Kickstarter. Well, he didn't launch it. He finished it on Kickstarter. He's in process of fulfilling now, but it's also on Indiegogo and
Oh, cool.
it's just picking up stuff. But like, yeah, Indiegogo you can definitely leave open. Is that really me? You can leave stuff open for like ever, right? I mean, well, as long as it's still selling, it can be on Indiegogo as a online store.
Yeah, yeah. On Indiegogo, I mean, I trust me. As much as I talk about Kickstarter being the stronger platform, Indiegogo has a lot of really cool features, and the company's really trying really hard to be innovative in the crowdfunding space. Kickstarter kind of found their way of doing things, and they keep it really simple on purpose. Indiegogo, like they've got a lot of different really cool
I think
things you can do.
that's kind of the thing with newer, younger. It is. It's when I talk. What the heck?
We waited 360 days for this, and you couldn't get your mic
annoying.
Mike.
Clicking every time Mike blinks. Darn it! I had a good thought in my head. No.
Indiegogo. So you're saying Indiegogo's trying to new? They have
Yeah, because they're a younger, newer company. They can kind of maneuver and change things and see how they like you use BackerKit, right?
Yeah.
Right. So BackerKit would do these add-ons and stuff, right? Yeah. And then Indiegogo's like, oh, add-ons, we could do that, right? Yeah. It's like Indiegogo takes ideas and they change and they adapt. But like Kickstarter seems to be like becoming the dinosaur, like Time Warner or AT&T or whatever. It's like trying to implement a new idea into one of these older, bigger companies is like trying to, shift the Titanic with a tennis racket,
Yeah, and they both have their place. There's just, what I tell people when I speak, and I am speaking. If anybody out there is in San Diego and you want to see me live, I'm out here October 2nd at California International Business University speaking. I invited you, Mike, if you want to come out. I'd love for you to speak as well if you come out. Yeah, and it's free, totally free. I do it to give back to the community. Looks like the mic's working.
Bug me about it.
And so it's really cool to watch Indiegogo try really hard to compete. The problem is that we run through our ad campaigns and all the money we've ever spent in advertising and all the promotions we do. We know for a fact that Kickstarter as a conversion page converts just so much higher than Indiegogo. I mean, the profit there in terms of being able to generate revenue and pledges and all of that stuff is just so much higher in Kickstarter. We're talking about a lot, almost double, if not more. So it just depends on the project. Sometimes a little different. So in a lot of ways, a lot of times I tell people.
What do you mean by the conversion page? What do you mean?
Okay, so when you so one thing I didn't even really ask you. You don't run a lot of ads for your campaigns, do you?
I run. This is pissing me off. Unbelievable. This has never happened.
Like write it down what you want me to talk about.
Legitimately on my mic. There's my other mic. I ran ads on Kickstarter.
If you want to try to fix it, I can talk about that question.
That's all right. Okay. I had BackerKit running some ads for me, but their ads were not giving me returns that I was liking. And so I went to Facebook. I told them to stop before they blew through my money. And then I went to Facebook and I did it myself, and I was seeing probably 8 times the return they were getting on their ads. So my own advertising, I guess I understood the comic market better than BackerKit did. So
I know it. Keep acting like I don't know nothing, but every time you do something, you're doing like $100,000. Good for you, man. And now you're killing it on ads too. But if I had an extra, 20 grand in ad budget, I'd be spending it right now. Do you need an extra 20?
I'm
just saying. Just saying. There's ways. There are ways to do that.
Yeah.
But you. So to explain that, so you just mentioned that you do just even against the other advertising agency, right? You were doing like 8 times better than them. So, and you were running ads to an Indiegogo page, right? Okay. So what we have experienced, and this is real, like you will take the same ad, same product, right? Run it on Kickstarter. And let's say your return on your ad spend, that's really how you measure this, guys, is like how much, if I put $1 in, how many do I get out?
Right.
And so you got to have a return on ad spend that makes sense and it makes you make money, right? So let's say that number is 5x or 6x. So 6 times, if you put in $1, you get $6 back. If you put in 10, you get 60, right? So your return on ad spend on Kickstarter, we can get it to a place where we're, sitting at about really pretty, somewhere between 5 to 6 to 7 to 8x of our ad spend. That's a real, you can build a business around that. Right?
Oh yeah.
And so what happens then, we take literally the very next day when our Kickstarter is done and we go to Indiegogo, our return on ad spend can drop anywhere to like 2 to 3. So this is why I usually say to people that are really successful on Indiegogo with a product, not necessarily a comic book, I'm not sure.
No, it makes sense because the people you're advertising to, Kickstarter's been around so much longer that the people who are already interested in Kickstarter that you're targeting with your Facebook ads are going to be going to Kickstarter. They're already signed up. They're ready to go. They see the product and they want to get in.
Maybe. But a lot of times, like 50% of our backers, a lot of the times are brand new to Kickstarter. So
that's what I'm saying. Brand new to Kickstarter.
And new. So here's the thing. It's not really just that. I have some theories, and I don't know if they're true or not. But one of the things that I have a theory on is that for Indiegogo, as an example, is the load speed is a little slow. We're talking about a couple seconds, and that couple seconds I think is killing conversion on ads. And because you can't just drop. I mean, I think we're talking a little deep here. I don't know if you want to go this deep on this discussion.
This is totally distracting me. I have to put this up. What?
Am I black?
Look,
oh man.
We both live in San Diego, and you've got a way better tan than I do.
I guess I don't mind being black. I'm cool. I'll be whatever you need, man. Just buy my comic.
Just buy my book, brother.
Yeah, and SJW. I don't know. That's definitely not who I am necessarily. But I don't want to get political here, right, Mike? We're not doing that.
Absolutely not. I never get political on my show.
Not you.
Never. It's
ever.
Ronald Reagan. He's the best.
I know. Who's on your shirt right now? All good. But anyways, yeah. So I'm slightly a capitalist, just saying. But and creative. So hey, what do you
That's
do?
right.
But yeah, so you will see that typically this is what I tell people: if you're really successful on Indiegogo, you would have been crazy successful on Kickstarter, like crazy, like probably 4 to 5 times. So that's what I was wondering. I don't know if that's true with the comic because you're blowing my mind right now with everything that you've been doing, and obviously you have a following that has driven you have a following and a message and all the things that you're doing that are driving your backers, right? So I don't know if that necessarily would translate into Kickstarter, but if it did, and you tested it out, and you were 4 to 5x, I mean, how happy would you be?
I'd be pretty happy.
That'd be pretty nuts. Not that you're not happy now. I think you should be, but at the same time, it's like, wow, if we launch, like I said, we can make. So for example, on one of our Kickstarter projects, the Undressed version 3, for example, I think we did $500,000. I think we did $500,000 in like in that campaign. So it was like less than 60 days, 30. I forgot how many days, but so we did $500,000 in that campaign. How much did we make in Indiegogo? Like 100,000 in comparison, right back to back. So that's 5x.
All right.
And we spent the same amount of money basically. So or close, but I mean, you could tell it was not the same performance.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to figure out why. Like everybody in this whole marketing game is trying to figure out why. So, when you go on Kickstarter, we believe that that's the strongest play, but it's not necessarily true with every single campaign. Some people go stronger on Indiegogo for some crazy reason, and we don't know why.
Right. Well, I mean, what you're doing, and you have the broader approach to marketing and all that stuff. A lot of the guys in the Indiegogo market, they're 100% just influencer marketing. It is YouTube to Indiegogo. That is all they do. That is all they want to do. They don't care about anything else. And I took your advice, your approach, and I tried to do the advertising. I tried to do as much as I could outside of that, but yeah. So it's a case by case thing. It's not there's no magic bullet.
Yeah, and we're gonna be working a little bit more on the influencer side this coming week, and trying to see if there's any what we're seeing there, at least for our campaigns. So we're kind of the opposite, right? So I've done it the other way, and then influencers, and we've had experience with influencers that really, frankly, didn't bring that much in terms of the campaigns. Oh, there you go. There's us. Oh, we're at 16,600. Good. All right. I didn't even know where we were today. I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah, can somebody back this so it's not 666?
Yeah,
That's not a good
Mike,
place to
what
start.
the heck, dude? Of all people, there's no way that should have popped up.
Oh, Xeno the Stoic has a good idea. Get Instagram thoughts to promote my books. There you go. That's
Yeah. So yeah, so we haven't done the YouTube influencer thing. Hopefully we'll see. I'm obviously with you right now, so let's see if there's any impact. I know my market's not the same as yours with our comic. But yeah, we're gonna try it out and we'll see what's going on. But this has been an interesting experiment so far, and and even though I've done millions of dollars on Kickstarter with other things, even here, sitting here with my comic at $16,000, I'm so grateful and feel so blessed and so happy. And it's awesome because I came from the comic book industry.
Yeah.
Yet I've been doing all these other products, and I've always wanted to bring back Max Boost. And I guess I'll talk about the story a little bit for your viewers that are new to Max. And bringing him back for the first time in years, over 10 years. Thank you, Dim Sum Wonton. It says, great looking book, going to back because Mike. And 666, right? Let's change it.
Yeah, there it goes.
There it is. Thank you.
That was one thing I do like about Kickstarter, how it just, you don't have to refresh, it's just like rolling up.
Yeah, that's fun to watch,
Yeah.
except for when it goes backwards sometimes. But anyways, I'm so grateful, guys. There's something about comics, man, and just the fans. And what I love about crowdfunding and what I'm learning now, and I already knew this, but even it's just about crowdfunding and really connecting with your audience and being able to connect with customers. We've never had that. And like I said, me and Mike are old enough to get to a place where we really didn't have that connection, an instant connection that we have right now. Satan has been defeated. Praise God. Well, can I put it at 17,666 right now so we can get another pledge? So yeah, so
hey, do you have is that big ass book the actual book?
It is right here. It is.
Look
huge.
at that
It's
thing, guys.
150 pages, guys. It's amazing. So let me. You want me to just go into a little bit of history of Max?
Yeah, do it.
So Max Boost. I started off in the comic book industry. Like I said, poor, 16 years old, 17 years old. First got into cars as soon as I can, and I got the bug for cars. And I ended up being a street racer in San Diego. Sorry, I don't advocate that now, but I did do it. And this was way back. We're talking about early, like mid 90s. Yes, I was 5 years old at the time. But mid 90s, got my first car. It happened to be, you've got one, an Acura Integra GSR.
That's right.
And I didn't know I bought the rice rocket of all rice rockets at the time, other than the Civic. I mean, that was pretty much it. And that ended up being my ticket to the whole Fast and the Furious universe way before Fast and the Furious became Fast and the Furious, right? So got into
Fast and the Furious was actually based on Dennis's life, just so you guys know.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much. And so what I did was found out that there's a whole culture, loved racing.
This guy's killing me.
I'm sorry, dude. Dip Sub said, I love this skinny black dude. Cool Glasses is a great book. Yo, bro.
Oh, man, you're killing me,
bro. Okay. Yeah, dude, I love this guy, man. Dip Sub, dude. Tokyo Drift, right? What's up,
yeah,
yeah, no, for sure. I start off in the industry, help build the tuner culture, and help start a magazine called Import Tuner Magazine. And Max Boost was a feature every month, like 2 to 4 pages every month of the magazine. So people who subscribed to it would see a continuous storyline. Mm-hmm. And so almost a decade we had Max Boost. We had almost 1 million readers a month back then. I mean, that was kind of nuts. When people really had subscriptions, it was crazy. So we could measure that. It was real. It wasn't just click likes and all that stuff. It was actually real. And so we had a lot of people reading Max Boost and became really, really popular. And it became a reason, like 75% of people that subscribed to the actual magazine subscribed just for the comic, which was Max Boost. And so this is the first time I go into this story, but I stopped doing it over 10 years ago. And I still had fans going, Dennis, bring Max Boost back, bring Max Boost back, bring Max Boost back. And I stopped over 10 years ago because I don't know if you're around, Mike. We almost did a deal with Warner Brothers, and a massive deal. I worked 2 years trying to get this deal done. We had toys with Playmates Toys, a deal done with them. We had a video game getting ready in the process of getting a deal done with THQ for the video game. We had like clothing. We had everything set up. Target and Walmart wanted the toys. And then all we needed was a Saturday morning cartoon, and had all those meetings. Reggie Hudlin pitched Max Boost. I don't know if you guys know who Reggie Hudlin is, but if you're a fan of House Party the movie or Boondocks the cartoon, he was the executive producer of Django Unchained, and he was also the president of BET Network. I guess I am black. He was the one who pitched it to Warner Brothers, and he got them to in-room buy it. And so we were so close to getting the deal done. Actually, this story is not actually out in public that much. I don't know if I've ever told it on video. We almost got it done. 1 week before our deal was signed. The guy on the inside of Warner Brothers, John Hardman, got fired. And the person that replaced him, and I think you probably know a little bit about this, Mike, when there's regime changes, people don't want anything that anyone else was doing. They want to start a clean slate. That was what happened to us. And I lost.
Happened to me, man.
On the money, bro. Like it's 6 figures to get to that point, all cash, and it was devastating. And so when that collapsed, and we were we even had meetings with Disney and also Cartoon Network at the time, trying to revive that deal, trying to make that happen. And it all kind of faded away. When it faded away, I just needed to take a mental break. And you'll see it in my Kickstarter video. I talk about it a little bit, and you'll see the toys in there. I actually still have the prototype toys. And I had to take a break. So it was 13 years ago, I stopped. And then now, Kickstarter, literally a little over a week ago, I finally relaunched Max Boost as a collected compendium here of all of the classic issues that a lot of people have read in the past. I don't know how to do this, but yeah, so it's just a big book, 100 pages of the original comic itself. And then also 50 pages of never before seen art. Sorry, this is some, so if you're into cars, if you're into Fast and Furious, if you're into racing, if you're into Initial D, I think you might have fun with this. And I did a lot of car rendering stuff growing up in Photoshop and whatnot. And so here's the original Importuner magazine. That's what it was in. Yes, girls on the cover and all that. Way back. That's very 90s, isn't it? Yeah, and so we also have an animation that we did, and we've been, it's just like you, man. We're always hustling, trying to make our visions come true. And yeah, so it's 100 pages of the actual comic in volume 1, plus 50 pages of new art in the book that has never seen before. And yeah, you get to see it. And then also, I don't know if you do this, Mike. If you back it, you get your name in the book, kind of thing.
I did that with my first issue. I did just the people.
Oh yeah, that's right. My
in
name's
the first 30 days. Yeah, there you go.
My name's in it. Duh.
Copycat.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, so just a ton of comics. It's fun. And the story is about Max and Otto, and there's two guys, Max and Otto at the front, Max and Otto, and they're two best friends. And the story, if you see it in the Kickstarter video, it's basically Max and Otto. Max's birthday's coming, and he's been praying to his mom basically that for him to get him his dream car, which is an Integra Type R. And the reason why he wants an Integra Type R is because him and Otto can challenge Todd, the town bully and jock, to a race to put him in his place and try to beat him. And he drives a V8 Mustang, of course. And so he's been harassing everybody, going wacko. Someone just goes, going wacko for Caco. Dude, this channel is awesome. You guys are awesome.
My fans are the best.
Maybe I should be doing YouTube more often.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, so he challenges Todd to a race, thinking he's going to get an Integra Type R on his birthday. And so his birthday comes along, and he ends up with not an Integra Type R. He ends up with a Civic DX hatchback,
DX,
like the lowest
bottom
base
of the
model
line.
Civic
Yeah.
ever. But unfortunately, the race is still on, and so everybody's looking forward to him racing Todd, and he's going to have to figure it out. And so from there, the story kind of evolves into him trying to tune his car, make it faster, dealing with Todd, and then of course there's an overarching story where there's a threat to Motorville coming. Motorville's very existence is questionable, and they're going to play a pivotal part in saving the world, right? So that's kind of like the fun thing. And so there's cars racing, and
worldwide cataclysm.
And a lot of crazy characters. We even have a gorilla as a mechanic. His name's Wrench, and stuff like that. So we kind of have a lot of fun with Max Boost. So wow, we're almost at 17,000. Appreciate you guys, dude. So, yeah, we love it. It also comes, just an FYI, we go all the way. It comes with this. It'll come numbered. So we're doing numbered, collectible. Comes in this collectible sleeve. And it should be coming with a exclusive Kickstarter print.
Dude, are you going to make any money off of this? Or are you just doing this as a vanity project?
We're doing this as fun. We never make money, dude. Are we in comic books? We don't make money.
I'm making money on mine, baby.
Oh, dude. I need to learn from you. No, you definitely are making money. But
so yeah, apparently you guys, Dennis is going to be printing these at probably more than the cost of the books themselves. He just wants to get them out there. So
help.
He's insane, and he doesn't need the money. So.
Kid, right? It's not that expensive, but I guess. But no, seriously, when people pick this book up, and we're gonna redesign this cover with you guys with all the backers. But people think this is $100 book, so it's pretty awesome. I don't know if it translates on video or on photo.
So it looks crazy.
I really just want to go all the way, quality. Also, like I said, limited numbered edition. So, like, again, if we print 300, there's only 300. And if Max Boost ever does become a Netflix show, you've got one. And so this is going to be the one you want. And then if we do really well, and we're doing all right now, if you do really well, then we will go into Volume 2. And Volume 2 is going to have the second half of everything that's ever existed for Max. So it's going to be cool. And right now, it's been fun. I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate every single pledge at this point. 256. Yeah, normally when we do Kickstarters, we have like 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 backers, kind of like you. Right now, I'm at 256 backers.
Yeah, but I think it's probably kind of difficult to use your mailing list for the undress to sell comic books.
We haven't tried. You never know. I'm gonna see. I mean, we've got tens of 40, 50,000 people on that list, so maybe we'll try. Maybe we'll.
Hey, you know what? If you get a 2% turnaround, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so there's Max Boost, and by the way, if I also executive produced a film called The Last Race. It's a short film, and we produced that right at the beginning of Fast and the Furious 1. Oh, by the way, in Fast and the Furious 1, you can actually see hints of Max Boost in Fast and the Furious 1, and in one of our cars.
Oh, that's right. Is that on the Kickstarter?
In Fast and the Furious. Yeah, it's on our Kickstarter video, and then.
Oh, it's on the video. Okay.
Yeah, and then yeah. So then. Yeah, we also have in Fast and the Furious, one of the guys that's on the team, Memo, he's actually one of the Mexican gangsters in Fast and the Furious 1. Not kidding. Can't make this up.
Are you one of the black gangsters?
I am one of the black guys. Vin Dennis. Let's see. What I was gonna say was I don't know what I was gonna say.
Oh, question for you.
I wish, man. Derpetrator. This channel's awesome, dude. Derpetrator. I want to. It's kind of going to be a bit difficult because right now, as we sit right now, they're going to be sealed. So they're going to be sealed from factory. I don't really open every single one and sign every single one. I have been thinking about that in the last couple of days. If there's a possibility of doing it, then I'm going to see if I can. But I can't promise that right now.
Are you getting them fulfilled directly?
I'll sign them anytime I see people at events. Like I'll be at an event this weekend. Obviously, I don't have the books there, but I'll be at an event this weekend giving away free posters here in San Diego at a car event called Spocom.
Are they going to be fulfilled from the factory?
They're going to go from factory to the fulfillment center to each backer. And our fulfillment center in San Francisco.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could sign plates and send them to the printer.
Yeah, is that considered signed though?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Here. Well, I got a book. He signed like all the papers. Actually, where are you getting printed?
That's probably, you're right, man. There's probably a way to do that.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. So thanks for asking the question, Trader, because if we can figure this out, I'll probably do it. Mike, that's awesome, dude.
You know, you could sell twice as many as you've got now, and that's not as nearly as many as I have to sign.
Yeah, right. No, man. Again, you're doing amazing, dude. I'm so proud of you. I mean, I remember our first conversations, and I'm telling you, like, this is the way to go, Mike. I think you believe me now, right?
Oh yeah, legit. I mean, that's the funny thing is like people are like, you know, they stumbled onto this. I'm like, man, I've been planning on crowdfunding this thing for what was that, 2-3 years ago?
We've been talking about this about as long as we've been talking about doing a podcast.
Yeah. No, longer than that. Longer than that.
Yeah. Having meetings, and I just said, I was telling like anybody else who's listening that's wanting to be, and I'm sure you've talked about this before, but just inspired by Mike and what they're able to do. I mean, everybody has a shot. You know, that's what's amazing about what's available today. You have the access to the same resources me, Mike, and everyone else has, and you can launch your dream, your product, your business on crowdfunding. And I was, I was saying it the other day. Actually, April's here. That's why I keep looking over here. She's my partner at the Undress. I keep saying that. I was like, there's no real other way to accidentally make $500,000 or more online. Like when Mike went out with Lone Star, you go out, you don't know what you're gonna make. It could be 5,000, it could be 10,000.
Yeah.
But you kind of go out there, and to sell $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in books in any other way other than this would have been way harder, way cheap, way more expensive.
Yeah.
And it's Anime Speed Racer. Thanks for that comment. Yeah. I want Max Boost, and my dream is to have Max Boost be the speed racer of this generation. I mean, it's connected to real life. It's connected. I do race cars. I went from street racing to racing legally on autocrosses, drag racing, and then eventually track racing. So, and
you designed your own car, didn't you?
Yeah, that's a kind of we have a car we're building out in a shop in Riverside. Like literally my own design, with Sam Rothschild at Rothfab. It's nuts. And then
his mom's like, you cannot make a living at this.
Yeah, nah.
Still time to go to medical school, Dennis.
I know, man. I still got a shot. I'm still apparently 19, right? So, but yeah, no, it's crazy what's possible in crowdfunding, and I'm just grateful. Like even right now, even at $16,000 on our Kickstarter right now. I mean, try to find a way to sell $16,000.
17,000.
No, did we make it?
No, but someone will. Come on, somebody, bump us over.
Derpa Trader. I will sign yours, Derpa Trader. You come in here and you turn that from 16,950 to 17,000, and I will sign your Max Boost book. But yeah, so the goal of Max Boost is to be the speed racer of this generation. And if it does become that, then this edition is going to be really valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
it's already a better value than you're paying for it. That thing looks insane, man.
Yeah, dude, it's expensive to print it. Oh, and it also has a dust jacket. It's gonna have a limited print with it. And on some of the other reward levels, we've got collectible pins and more prints. And
hey, take it for a minute. I'm gonna answer this call to my wife.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, so Max Boost. I just came up with so Max and Otto. Obviously, they're. Oh, let me see if I don't think he's going to let me zoom in here. I don't know how to do that. Can I zoom in on this? But yeah, so it's just, I don't know if you guys see this. But it goes through, there's 100 pages of the comic. And it even has, if you look through the page, there's a lot of art that's never before been available, printed.
Link is in the description, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's funny because after I talked to you, I think it was 2 years ago at San Diego
Comic-Con. Yeah, man. Oh, that's right.
About it. Yeah, and that's when I was writing my business plan for Blacklist Universe, and that's why um, I had crowdfunding as part of my business plan, because of the what we were talking about.
Yep. And you're such a great story, dude. I should be interviewing you. Seriously.
Just with a better mic.
Here's some of the toys from back when we were proposing these to Target and Walmart. And
were the toys ever distributed?
No, they never were. That's why everything fell apart. We were at the Javits Center at licensing show, and this is me there. Look at that scale toy right there. And yeah, it's an all ages book. It's got a few things that are a little, I think, spicy, but nothing that I don't think you'd be afraid to show 9 or 10-year-old. Thank you. Yeah, the toys are really neat. I wish I had them right here right now. Actually, I should have brought them. But yeah, no, man, we did a lot of work, and so it sucks when things fall apart, but it's what happened, man. And so, so in the book, you've got all that history too.
You're $5 away,
dude. 16995. That's sort of 666 if you turn over the 2 9s, bro.
They're saying 17K, but here, let me refresh it. Maybe Kickstarter is not doing its job. Oh, 17K.
Oh, it's exactly $17,000. Thank you, guys.
I think somebody just dropped $5 to make it.
Mike's gonna get his 10% off of all you guys right now. That's what our deal, right? Or is it 15? He's making money off my comic too, apparently. Nah, man, appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
very much, man. So yeah, and by the way, yeah, we have relationships with the car manufacturers here. So, like, for example, like we're big time Honda fans. I'm a Honda fan, and yes, there are other brands in there, but yeah, I was literally at Honda about 3 weeks ago or so, and they're very enthusiastic about supporting Max Boost and just kind of what Max Boost was to this generation of tuner culture that eventually you kind of get a glimpse of in Fast and the Furious. I mean, it's crazy back then when I think about how our little culture turned into what it's become today. It's massive. If you go around and you look at car shows today, for a lot of you that aren't into the car scene, but if you go, it used to be where everything, when we first started back in the early 90s, everything was V8s and Mustangs and Camaros and Corvettes. There was nothing, there were literally no imports. And rightfully so, I understand why. But for some reason, we got the bug. And obviously in Japan, they have imports, duh, right? And all around the world, they've had high-performing Japanese cars, just not in the United States. So when we started to do it, we weren't accepted. And so the comic is very much kind of a glimpse of that, where we, like V8s, we come out to the street races, everyone's like, why do you have a Civic? Or why do you have, yeah, Interpretrator, thank you, 17K, baby. Yeah, why do you have a Civic? Why do you have a Honda? What's going on here? And we were made fun of. Everyone thought it was just going to be a fad. We'd never get anywhere. We'd never break a 12-second quarter mile with a front-wheel drive. You know, all these things were set against us. And we just believed in our culture. We believed in the cars. And we continued to engineer pretty much out of our own garages cars that eventually became fast. And we're talking about front-wheel drive Civics that went from like 12-second quarter miles to 11 to 10 to 9 to 8. I mean, it was nuts. And then, of course, we started to bring in the heavy hitters, more of the bigger Japanese cars, right? So, for example, the Supras and all of that. And we started to build those really heavy. And eventually, many years later, we finally got the respect we were looking for in terms of having imports. And so today, the culture isn't. And so Max Boost was about V8s versus imports at the time.
Yeah.
And it was a headbutt, right? And then now everything's mixed, which is kind of awesome. So kids that are going into the culture now that are getting into cars don't know that battle that we originally had from way back, trying to give ourselves a place in the world. And so now, but what's crazy is not only do you have imports, do you have domestics. The Euro market jumped in, but exotics. Some of these kids have some crazy money. And we're talking about highly modified Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Audi R8s. You start to name it, and you'll see these cars out there on almost a regular. And so it's just amazing how far that culture has gone.
Do you think the racing games are the chicken or the egg in this scenario?
You know what, man? I'm lucky enough to have a brother that's 18 years younger than me. even though I'm 5. Yes. He's 18 years younger than me, and he actually got into cars on his own accord. Like, I didn't actually influence him to do that. So when he started getting into cars, I was paying attention. I was like, what is he going to be like me? Is he going to like the cars the way that I did back then? And I think there's something you're saying that about that is, as he was growing up, obviously he played those racing games. I think all of us did, all the adults. Right? But they definitely know
I love
more
taking the
about
NSX
cars.
and making it go airborne. It's only 1,000 pounds. It's just like,
dude, I remember when a lot of these people weren't even born when Gran Turismo 1 was out, and I remember watching that come. I was like, this is the most amazing game ever.
was that 99?
Dude, I spent so many, I don't know what year that was, but it was like, that's all I did every day. And so let's see. And then, and so I'll answer that question, Peter, Mike. And so, yeah, so kind of to answer that question was like, so we had a huge surge. Fast and the Furious made it mainstream in both a good and a bad way. The culture went up, and then it dived with the recession, right? Everything car related was just dead, and it started to come back. And then as my brother, a few years ago, we'll call it 6, 7, 8 years ago, started to get in the cars, and I'm like, man, pretty deep. He was modifying his own cars, and eventually, now we're really deep, and he's really deep in it. And then the culture, answering the question that was just put on the screen, there are car shows and events like literally everywhere, every weekend, every week now. So it's become really big again, which is one of the reasons why I'm wanting to bring Max Boost back. Do I know if that and do I think that the import car culture will survive? Yes, Jay, Gran Turismo was the best, or is the best. But do I think the import car culture will survive? I hope so. But there's something that's a little bit more daunting than just the import car culture with technology today. Is the car culture period going to be a thing? Like, without going too far into it, I'm seeing it already, and this is going to happen. Unless probably, I don't know, is it 10, is it 20, is it 30 years? We ain't going to be driving cars. They're not going to let us.
They're not going to let us.
No, man. I think so much of it's going to get automated, right? So
I don't know. I think they're going to mine all the lithium out of the earth, and then it's like, now what do we do? But what's crazy? Have you seen that electric motorcycle? It's just pure torque, right? So you can go 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. It's just bam. It's like turning on. When you press on a drill, it just goes full speed right away. Yep. Have you seen that thing? What if they do that with a car, man?
Of all of those things, electric's the future, but it's also automation's the future. And I'm a car guy, and I love car guys, and I want cars that last forever and be forever, and I want to always be able to drive. But I'm seeing the writing on the wall, man. If things are automated, and you're looking at Uber, you're looking at all these things where people just want to get into something and just be where they're at. They don't even want to drive the car. Most people don't want to, right? And then at the same time, if you start thinking like all these automotive vehicles are going to be on the road, then eventually they're going to outnumber, human-driven vehicles, and then the human-driven vehicles are maybe the ones that are going to be making accidents, because apparently they're going to blame us for stuff that's going on, and eventually you're just not going to be allowed to be out there, and that's going to suck. But it's going to be what it is. That's what I see.
That's 10 or 20 years. I think that's way. It's like when we're 10 or 20 years ago, we were always thinking it's like, oh, we're going to have flying cars, and it's the things you see. It doesn't move quite as fast. Although other technology is just screaming by, but things that change the entire culture, the way we move around like that, I don't think that's, nobody's digging up these highways and replacing them with glass tubes so that we can shunt ourselves off in a vacuum.
You know what I mean? But
I'm just
saying, I don't mind it taking a long time. But when he was asking the question about the culture, I was just saying like that made me fast forward to like, where's car culture in period?
All right.
There may be a time you cannot drive a car on the road. I know it's a little far-fetched and it seems really far forward thinking, but I could see that possibility happening. And what's going to happen there, nobody knows. And even the car companies, like, and I've got friends in car industry, and they're trying to figure this out. They don't know what's going to happen here. Because reality is
self-driving cars are going to be pretty. Yeah. The 15 here, that center lane on the 15 that they built how many years ago was intended for self-driving cars.
I didn't know that. But
They were
cool.
thinking back then, but it's like
they're waiting for Elon. They're waiting for Elon, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that I want the culture. I mean, and I don't. If the culture lasts forever, awesome. If we only get 40 more years or 50 more years, awesome. I'm good. You know, by that time I'll be 55, so I'll be all right, right? We'll be 50. We'll be all right. But yeah, so that hopefully that answers the question. But
Right on. Any other questions? It's had some bad accidents already. Well, it's not perfect.
yeah, no, it's.
I do want my
definitely
flying car.
accidents every day.
I want my flying car. You know they've had flying cars since the 60s.
I'm sure, dude. They've had contact lenses since the day of Leonardo da Vinci, right? So
yeah, no, they had them here at Lindbergh Field. That's where they used to put them. They're these little cars, and they would back them into this harness that had wings and a propeller. Just
I didn't know they launch them with rubber bands, dude. That's cool.
All right, it's crazy.
I don't know if I'd get in it, but I'd watch someone else do it. Maybe that would put that into Max.
Yeah.
Episode.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see. Back here, is this like Initial D?
Sort of. Yeah, I mean, Initial D, of course, is a little bit more serious. Way more serious than Max Boost. Max Boost is more fun. And doesn't necessarily have drifting as a theme. It's just car culture, tuner, and a lot of drag racy fun stuff kind of all mixed in. So if you could take Initial D and kind of give it a lot more, like I said, like a more, what is it? Fun flavor to it, rooted in, in this kind of car culture, then yeah. I mean, so in Initial D, he's a tofu delivery boy and he's really serious about it. In Max Boost, he's a pizza delivery boy and he's not. So you'll see, like in issue number 10, like he's delivering a pizza, and you'll see it when you read it. But yeah, there's a lot more fun stuff in here. Like I said, we've got like mystical characters like gorillas in here. We've got the proprietor of the best tuning performance shop for imports in Motorville. The place is called Motorville. Is Papa Wheelie, and he is Asian. He is right here. Boom. This guy. He is the proprietor of Papa Wheelie's Performance Pagoda.
Oh my God, that's so racist.
Yeah, it is racist. Yeah, there's a lot of stereotypes in here. I guess I didn't realize that when I was doing it. I mean, I literally did this 20 years ago, right? And
back when stereotypes were still funny.
Yeah, right? I mean, come on. Anyways, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna stop myself. But yeah, no. So he's the proprietor of Papa Wheelie's Performance Pagoda, and he's got on his shoulder, like, I mean, stuff like this. Like it's on his shoulder he has a praying mantis who's named Grasshopper, right? So stuff like that. So we kind of have a lot of fun with it. And if you don't pay him on time, you get Wu-Tang whacked, that kind of thing. April's laughing right now. She's laughing right now. And some of you know who Wu-Tang is. Just stuff like that. And and also we kind of like, unlike Initial D, I guess, we have like actual real brands like Titan 7 and Falcon Tires and Cartoon, and we mix it into the comic as much as we can. We actually have cameos of famous drag racers, of famous import drag racers like Ed Bergenholt and Stefan Papadakis and all that. And it is a story that just, even if you're not into, this is what people tell me. Like, even if you're not into tuner cars, you can actually, it's actually really funny. That's like a funny story. Like April says so, So I can't read it not that way, but I made it in a way that I think it's family entertaining and it's fun, and so cool.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Paid product placement.
Yeah, what's funny is it's not kind of, in a way, sort of. So a lot of these companies actually support my racing. So I don't know. I think I told you guys that I actually do race on tracks. And Victor's the big black man. So Victor's Wrench, apparently. but yeah, no, we are supported by these companies on the racing team and the race cars. So we appreciate that, and that's one of the ways we kind of do a good, scratch each other's backs with this project. So, is it all import tuners, Japanese toy cars? No, there's some muscle in there, Justin, but a lot of it is definitely focused on the imports because it was an import tuner magazine. So,
Right on.
but we do have some muscle cars in there as well. So, and like I said, the main villain is a Mustang V8. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, if we want to wrap this up in an hour, we got about 5 minutes left.
Sure.
I actually have another show to start at 7. Do you ever watch Friday night auctions?
The what?
Friday night auctions. Auctions.
Sorry, dude.
I do.
Auctions. Are you talking about?
I do an auction show on Friday nights. Original art. A bunch of different artists come on here, and we just. Hey, you got deep pockets. Come bid on some stuff.
That's what you're doing? Okay, no, I thought, dude, when you said auctions, I'm a car guy, dude. I was thinking, okay, are you talking about the auctions from Brownfield down here in San Diego where they like do live streams on Facebook for selling cars? Sorry, dude. But yeah, so you guys are doing that at 7?
Yeah. So
Cool,
I gotta do the dinner thing first. The what? Oh, sorry, that's my.
Exactly, that's me. Like,
yeah. What?
Yeah,
no,
man.
but very
I need
cool,
to learn
man.
more about YouTube and hang out YouTube a little bit more.
I know, dude. It's
No,
dude,
seriously,
it's a whole different world. I'm on this thing all the bloody time.
It's great, dude. Yeah, I got to get on it. So yeah, sorry guys. I'm not big on YouTube yet, but we'll see.
have you? Do you not have the mailing list for the magazine anymore?
No, that's not. That was never my property.
Dang, that would have been gold mine.
Yeah, but it's also 20 years old. So.
I know, but that's the thing, dude. You go back to people that have things that are 20 years old, and they're like, "Oh man, yeah, I want that from when I was 16." And
no, what I'm saying is the email address is not even.
Oh yeah,
it's probably like XYZ honeymilk at AOL.com, bro.
Right.
Back then, when you had 2000 in your username, that meant the future.
Yeah.
Max Boost 2000. Nah, man, that's that. I don't know. It'd be really, really cool. That's what I was gonna say. One of the things that we're doing with Max Boost is, when I was talking about the film that I produced called The Last Race, when you actually back the book, you actually get digital access to the film. So you also get something to watch today before you get the book later. So.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So what's the turnaround time on fulfillment?
On fulfillment, I'm trying to get this done and shipped to you guys before December. So get in time for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Man, you're gonna try to beat Lone Star.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, it was supposed to be fulfilled in October, but I added a 24-page book, so I did do that.
I saw that update. I'm like, Mike just went full retard.
Yeah. Well, I added it as a viable tier, so people are, they did.
And how you're working those tiers and stuff, man, it's great, dude. You guys are awesome, and also give back to the military and all that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome. And I'm speaking to all of your backers. Like, you guys are great, and giving back to the community in that way. And you guys really got something special, and that's awesome. That I'm sure it feels evergreen. When you can connect to your backers that way. I feel like you can sell this book forever, and that's really the goal, right? To keep the story going and going.
That is correct. That is the idea. Well, this is going to be.
I'm proud of you, man. I remember first time we met, and I'm like trying to convince you or talk to you about this crowdfunding thing, and you got it like pretty quick. But now I'm just so proud of from the beginning of when we first talked, and then now here you are just absolutely crushing it, and obviously having a ton of fans loving, participating, and supporting you and everything that you're doing. And finding your niche and finding your message and all of that is awesome, dude. So
yeah,
really,
I appreciate it, and I really appreciate the fans because it's going from one to the next. It is growing. I can't wait to see what happens in the third one. So,
yeah, and I'll say this for Mike. One of the things that I really appreciate about our backers is that they keep going on, and like every project we do gives us the courage to continue to do more because you guys continue to back us and support us in more of the crazy things we want to do. And I'm sure Mike's got a ton of stuff up his sleeve. And we'd love to build these projects, but more importantly, we love building it with you guys. And so thank you guys for all the support. And yes, absolutely, thank you guys for actually backing the Max Boost project. I know it's way different than Lone Star, But I appreciate the
What?
guys who jumped on.
No. There's a motorcycle in Lone Star.
There you go.
Wait, actually, look, I did draw. There is a car in the background of this panel. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Pulling up in front of an apartment building.
That's cool. Needs more horsepower, bro.
Page
more boost.
27. Page 27 of Lone Star.
Needs more boost. More boost.
Mo boost. Mo boost. All right.
Yeah.
To wrap this up, Sticky Art Channel says Max book bays look cool.
Thanks, you Sticky Art. Appreciate you guys.
So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Dennis, for popping on. You make sure you get back here sooner than the next 360 days.
Let's do something, man. Anything you need, man. We'll do it, and hopefully within a year.
All right, brother. Thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see you on Friday night auctions in 1 hour. Good night and God bless.
Peace.